Okay, welcome back to another episode of The 12, our epic campaign of discovery and adventure across the continent of Corvair. Apologize for some of the delays, having some technical issues, but we're here, and our story will continue to stream live Sundays around 6 p.m.-ish somewhere here on Javelin Entertainment. And if you missed the last session, check it out on the channel page or by clicking the link down in the description. And we'll go ahead and get into it here.
Last week, our recovering rapscallions finally made it to the legendary port of pirates, Port Krez, and found it alive with nautical life. Moving in towards the city, there was plenty to see, from exotic crews, some tiny cat scallywags, and extravagant salesmen. There was also a debonair duelist who played Cade like a fiddle up and down the dock. The two seemed quite familiar, though, and the dancing master bid them a happy goodbye, telling Cade to meet him at the tavern later. Our intrepid group, now waylaid with quest rewards, went to spend their hard-earned gold and found an eccentric dwarf by the name of Al-Abbas, who had many marvelous nautical novelties. Boko and Roland were thoroughly enthralled in thrifting, picking up a dozen different items. Those who didn't spend on the knicks found an intriguing shop specializing in enchanted tattoos, and the party finally made its way up towards the tavern where a beautiful dance had begun. Clyde went up to talk to the musicians and convinced them to play an epic diss track on Barrmore's bastards. In response, one of the members of the Crimson Haze, who happened to be called out by name in the song, came over and picked up Clyde, who promptly spit on his face. Just a moment before he got launched across the room, causing an entire tavern to erupt into a pirate brawl. What will happen in this pirate rumpus? Let's tune in and find out.
Yeah, that part of the night, Clyde starts to make those mistakes.
Now, we are going to take just a slight step back here, as I believe some people had decided on what they were going to purchase. And so I didn't see, I know that Jasira and Boko had talked to me a bit, and Roland had decided to purchase the eye patch. Was there anyone else who was purchasing one of the items? Or a tattoo?
Are you going to have all of your gold on you for this bar brawl?
I mean, you might not by the end of it.
Yeah, no, Cade hasn't decided on anything as of yet. I have one open attunement slot, and I'm gonna be picky.
Man, already down to one. Okay, so as you guys had been leaving Al-Abbas, Roland went and picked up the foresight patch, going and paying for that one. Before you had made it down to X marks, where throughout the afternoon and into the evening, Jasira was the first to kind of begin to get a tattoo. Hers, if you would like to describe it, Bree, what it looks like.
It's gonna be kind of hard because I think that picture I showed you was probably the best way to describe it.
I thought you did a great job before.
But I wanted it to I want it to be very wispy, something more similar to what I kind of imagine the soul taking and releasing that she gets with her soul gems. And so, like, on her right thigh is kind of this really cool, wispy, swirly something or other for the, what is it, like, coiling grasp or whatever tattoo. So it'll be very, very cool, I think.
And Boko, in the meantime, also began to get a tattoo that began on his upper shoulder. Kind of a tribal-like pattern, but it only had just started before the day had kind of come to an end, and you all had made your way up towards the tavern here. And upon entering the tavern, there was a dwarf at the entrance who kind of looked at you all and just, "Please give me all your weapons. Lay them out here. No weapons within." And each of you stepping by, if you choose to be straightforward, put down your weapons in place. And if you would like to try and conceal them, please either roll me a deception or a sleight of hand as you pass through.
All right, Clyde's whip is wrapped around his waist. So deception.
All right. Is anyone else attempting to conceal a weapon?
So I still have on me, I have it written down as Boko's butter knife. It's essentially just the regular kitchen knife that he really sharpened up, and I pulled out of the wall. I imagine that would be a bit smaller than a dagger, so he'd probably try to have that down his boot.
All right, you can go ahead and, again, it'll be a sleight of hand or deception roll, but you'll make it at advantage because that one would count as having the concealable property.
Excellent. So it'll be a sleight of hand and just, I don't know, sometime in the going through and pulling out, like putting the rifle down, pulling out the short sword in its sheath, pulling out one dagger, pulling out another dagger, he twist into there the schematic components for a guidance spell.
Okay.
Bars make me real nervous. I gotta guide myself.
23.
Oh.
As just, and kind of like, you can see, like, even if it's more just kind of like a, you know, I'm gonna give up all my weapons again. But, yeah. 23.
And as you guys are moving through and you kind of see Roland going through this, the dwarf is kind of placing each item, and as he places it, there's kind of a ward that he casts over it and then places it just through this small portal that appears, and kind of his hand disappears, and when it comes back out, the weapon is gone, and he grabs the next weapon, casts the ward, places it through, and goes through each of the items that are given to him. And as Roland is kind of finishing up here, there's kind of a slight look to his eye. And he gets up out of his chair, walks around the small desk, and kind of comes over to Roland, holds out his hand, and begins to kind of cast a very some semantic components as he begins to move a spell, kind of starting up at the top of Roland's head and slowly moving down his body, not touching him, but just a slight ways away. And
Hey now, what sort of technique is that? I ain't seen that one yet. We saw some real fancy ones over in, well, this place we were at. I can't get in too much. And DM, this is me trying to use my ability.
Okay.
What is it? Attention grabber. So that
Okay.
he'll do this at disadvantage. So I'll make a charisma check against his insight,
Okay.
just to see if I can help out somehow.
Okay. So what you see, Roland, as this is kind of watching, he moves down the entire body and like most of his focus is across your chest, specifically your jacket around your waist. And as he kind of continues down the pants, not seeing anything, he looks over to address Clyde, and in a moment that aura glows slightly brighter as it reaches your boot, and then fades back down as it reaches your toes, and he just glances back and misses the illumination, and then kind of stands back up, gives you a nod, and goes back to his post, and continues kind of cycling through these weapons here, and you all are brought into this tavern. Yeah.
Just real quick, Cade knows the drill, so prior to coming to the bar, Cade would have slipped her druid focus onto the necklace that she uses when she's not allowed to have her staff.
Okay.
So it's just a necklace, and Cade hands over all her weapons.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, so as you guys had come in, many of you guys had gathered around a table to get some drinks. Jasira had actually wandered over towards where there was the dancers had been kind of coming off of the stage, and Cade had made it up towards the third deck of this bar, where she had been going to meet Tiago once again, when this our halfling friend had been colluding with some of the other musicians to put together a piece about the Crimson Haze that did not paint them in a very good light, particularly ones that were called out by name. And one of the individuals in this bar had taken notice and lifted Clyde up by the lapels, and when Clyde had in return spit into his face, then he was chucked up into the air and across the room. And this singular action caused absolute chaos throughout the entire bar as everything began to erupt in a brawl, as everyone was just on edge waiting for something like this to happen. And now fists begin to fly, bottles begin to be tossed, tankards begin to be slammed into heads, and I would like for all of you to go ahead and roll me initiative, and I will need to copy in your tokens here because I don't think I have them on this page, but let me grab those real fast.
Okay. And so then, since you said this is concealable, it jogged my memory, and I pulled up the sheet with the new weapons in it. This would then count as a knife and not a dagger.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you very much. I will code that in now.
But it is a +1 knife, I believe. Well,
it was temporarily.
Yeah,
+1.
I think
He had
the
to use an infusion.
Yeah, I think the invocation is gone. You're right on that.
Unless you want to like role play, make it +1.
No, that's all right. I think it was a temporary infusion.
It.
Extra sharp kitchen knife.
Your token should be on screen now.
It's one of those, like, you know, Japanese $200 chef knives now.
Exactly.
Ooh, well, that's actually fair. Yeah. I was literally thrown, and I am the least prepared. It's so bad. If it had been a 1, I could have re-rolled it. Such bullshit.
I'm just waiting for the double halfling that one.
Oh, it's gonna hurt.
Mm-hmm. Or better yet, if you had advantage and got double nat ones, and then go, I re-rolled nat ones, nat one.
I'd have to leave for a minute, guys.
Oh yeah, I had to too when it happened to me.
Actually, I think for this instance, we're just going to handle theirs outside. Okay. So for starters, Jasira, you're actually closest to this since you were talking to the dancers. And when this man, and he is a big muscular man with a thick red beard and a bald head, when he picks up Clyde, you're already kind of looking over, and as he goes to toss him, just as Clyde is flying out, you get this moment of reaction. What are you doing?
So we know this is gonna be a brawl, right?
You already see everyone taking notice, yes.
So
They're waiting for Clyde to hit the ground.
right. So in terms of pirate etiquette, would it be frowned upon for her to try to stop?
Well,
Because if it's not, because like these are her weapons.
I mean, that is entirely up to you. That is entirely up to you and what you think is appropriate here.
I think it's quite appropriate. You don't
can't
throw
throw
our small
Clyde.
booze maker. Like,
Well-
you don't get to chuck them. That's our job.
All right, so what you
So
doing?
yeah, I think she's gonna try to stunning strike him from behind.
All right, so you rush
sneaky
over
like.
towards this man, and go ahead and give me an attack roll.
Right to the base of the head and
Right to the
Yeah.
throat.
Oh, let's see though. Okay. Give me good, please.
yes, put him down.
Oh man,
Put
Insta
him
stun. Can you do like
down.
an insta stun? Like, no, I think there's like supposed to be a contest of the roll, but like
My
insta
goodness.
so it is
I'm
not
not this
quite an
bitch.
insta stun,
Aw,
but
bummer.
what level of aggression does she carry here? Is she intending to knock this person out with as quickly as possible, or is she holding back and not using violent force here?
Does he go to sleep or does his head explode?
Does he go to sleep or does her fist protrude from his mouth?
Oh my god. No, I do believe killing was frowned upon. So we're going
It
for
is
the
in most
sleep.
polite societies, but we're not in a polite society right now.
Blood has not been drawn yet. No need to blow up.
I
the
I
space.
could have sworn we mentioned that while we walked in last week, that it was like no murder, but it's fine.
All right.
No,
No, that was
that
when
was
we were
that was
getting our
the
shit
last. Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
that was on the.
No,
that was
no,
before. That was
guys.
like- thing in general.
She's right.
No murder.
She's right. On this island, you are not supposed to outright be killing each other's pirates, but fights do occur frequently. That was
Yeah.
mentioned.
So then therefore she
boring.
understands I am not supposed to kill this guy, but she wants to try to go for a night.
All right, well, go ahead and roll me a critical injury. So roll me a D100.
Oh man, are we gonna hit
Oh
the
my
fire
God.
at the same time?
Knock his teeth out from the back.
That was so close.
Oh man, was the movie really good?
You almost got the auto stun you were looking for.
Oh.
so I
so
can still contest for it, right? Because that's what I ultimately want to do.
yeah, so go ahead. Or no, he just rolls a Constitution saving throw here. So, okay, sure.
Please be low. Please be
So
low.
as he just tosses this halfling, Clyde is like halfway through the air at this point, and Jasira comes out of nowhere and just cold cocks him right across the face. Go ahead and roll me damage, first of all. And as this just slams into him, he is just knocked straight down onto the ground, and you can nearly see cartoon birds swimming around his head as he is not only stunned but is also dazed, and will have all ability checks at disadvantage until the end of the encounter.
Yes.
And-
Beautiful.
Queen.
Well, with that, I think her next point of action will be to try to run to the other side of the tavern, I guess, to try to hang out with Clyde and see if he has any owies from being chucked.
Clyde's gonna get up ready to fight this dude. You've already beat his ass. He's on the ground.
It's okay, he's more my size than yours. Probably okay.
You're gonna regret starting a bar brawl with us. We have an army. We have a monk.
We have a hero.
So yeah, rest of the turn she'll try to run over there, and actually, if she gets to Clyde, and if he does have any injuries, she can do a hand of healing as long as she does like her key.
How fast can she catch Clyde?
She's not quite that fast. And Clyde, go ahead and roll me 1d6.
Of course.
Oh, owie. Maybe that's okay.
All right.
I hope,
You will take 1 bludgeoning damage as you slam into the tables
You're
here.
fine.
Yeah. Oh.
You just got a little bruise, a little shiner.
That could be worse.
Oh, yeah, I could be that guy.
And Jasira, instantly after you have just cold cocked, that's really the crux of what erupts this bar fight. And around, everyone begins to throw punches. The musicians kind of step back and begin to kind of play, but they're like up against the wall, trying to be out of the way as much as possible. And
Cantina music plays.
Exactly. And you, Jasira, from a nearby table, you see a few others who are already moving in this direction are now picking up speed, as they have targeted you out for something. Seeing you do this. And Roland, you do kind of, as Clyde comes crashing down into a table nearby, you are just kind of finishing up and holding up the kind of pouch that you had identified here when this happens, and you're looking around confused. What are you doing?
So we had said previously that, like, we'd had everything out on the table, examining it.
Yep.
Roland is picking up everything that we bought and stuffing it into a bag.
Okay.
And that is what he will spend his turn doing, if that is whatever it takes to get every item that we bought and stuff it into a bag, as Boko got knocked backwards and he's...
Love the concern.
I see how many teeth you're missing. This has happened to you before.
Yeah, and Boko is currently like knocked backwards, and you also see as this hefty pirate is like stepping up to him, and just kind of with this curled smile as Boko is slowly getting up to his feet.
And then the last thing that he'll do as he picks up the last thing, stuffs it in a bag, and looks around this whole room breaking into a fight. He's just going to look Clyde dead in the eye and go, "So, do you want to get away, or do you want to get rich?"
What you need?
I pick pockets better unseen.
Well, let's see what I can do. But you see, Clyde is way down at the bottom of this. Did as almost as bad as he could.
Sorry, what?
No, I get the gist of what he wants.
Oh, okay.
You're good, DM.
Just calling out for now. Got it.
Yeah. I would love to be invisible and pick the pockets of everyone as they get knocked down. This is a bar brawl. I should not be throwing fists during this.
Sindri, you also kind of caught off guard here. What are you doing as this brawl begins to erupt?
Well, Sindri enjoying his drink. Oh, this is quite well. Everyone immediately violence.
Sindri's gonna look around, and he was not paying much attention to exactly what happened, but he sees like Jasira and Roland like go over to Clyde, and he kind of caught the bottom arc of Clyde's arc. So Sindri's gonna run over to Clyde. Hi, what happened? Are you okay? Can you fly? Have you been able to fly?
I'm good. Punch people, don't kill anyone.
Why?
They're gonna punch you.
Yeah, and Sindri, as he says this, there is just a large platter that is just kind of taken and knocked over your head by a nearby person, and it just kind of slides off, not really doing any damage, but just kind of disorients you as this pirate, this
dents over his head.
This like young pirate with like sparse patched mustache and beard is just like, I really thought that would do more.
What was this platter, like a platter of food?
This is it probably held food at one point, but it didn't have any food on it at the time.
Ah, lame. Otherwise, Sindri might be happy, like, oh, thank you.
Oh, delicious. He delivered.
Yeah, he's just holding this like platter in his hands, and there's like a small little dent from where it hit your head.
Is the bar all wood, or is there like stone walls or floors or anything?
There is some stone in the walls, but for the most part, a lot of the things in here are wood. But like there are stone bricks kind of into the main pillars that rise up to give the levels to this building.
All right, Sindri is like takes the hit to his head and just looks at him, steps on the ground, and you just see a throwing hammer kind of pops out of the ground, and he just winds it back and chucks it at him.
Okay, make an attack.
We're just gonna roll my maul thing, but it's not a maul. I don't have random. Oh, I do have a hand axe. God damn it.
Well, you chuck it, and he just dodges out of the way, and the hammer just skates off of the platter and flies up into the second area where somebody is kind of like looking over where they've just dumped an individual off the ledge, and they get smacked right in the head and knocked back into the balcony there. And as you kind of finish up your turn here, some of the pirates are moving over towards Jasira.
Well, at the end of Sindri's turn, he'd like to yell, "Why are we fighting?"
Jasira, you see a pirate kind of stepping up to you with kind of this wicked grin, this matted, oily black hair that extends down past his shoulders. He's not wearing a shirt, and you can see scars all across his body and just these thick black gloves as he steps up, and he kind of raises his fist, but he's like half lowered to the ground in almost an animalistic fashion, and he swings out towards you. The first one kind of you duck underneath and dodge, but the second one cracks you right under the jaw, and you will take 7 points of bludgeoning damage. And let's see, third, what's your AC at right now, Jasira?
15.
15. Yeah, the third one hits you as well, and that one will be for 6 points of bludgeoning damage as you just get whack right into the edge of your head as he is kind of rushed forward, and for his bulk on his body, he seems to be very quick. Cool. And Cade, that'll bring us to you.
Okay, so Cade's like up on the third floor now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm kind of just get to view everything from above.
Currently, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Cade's gonna walk closer to Tiago and just kind of like casually lean over the railing. You know, this seems like quite a lot of fun. Maybe I'll make it more like a slip and slide. And I'm gonna cast Create Water over the bar, and it's gonna rain.
You're just setting off the fire suppression system.
I thought you were gonna cast grease on the. I was.
That's for the shot to do.
No. It's gonna be a slip and slide. So yeah, when you cast Create Water and not in a barrel, it creates a 30-foot wide rain cloud.
This building is definitely tall enough too. So as this cloud begins to just coalesce above the bar and rain begins to pour, there's a moment where like a few of the pirates like are half punched and are just like, what the fuck? And there is indeed people slipping left and right as the floor just begins to get coated with this water. And it is
all the booze that has been spilled as people have
it is certainly making things a bit more interesting. And some people are trying to grab different objects and finding it just slips right through their fingers. And in the meantime, Tiago is kind of like has this fork and is just like taking this fork and poking at another individual nearby who has got this large tankard in one hand and is swinging it out, and with just the fork is just kind of deflecting it away. And he kind of looks out over the rail. It was a good touch. And then just kind of flicks the fork and it pins the man's his shirt up to one of the walls as he kind of steps up from the table. Should we make our way away from this, or would you like to have some fun?
I'm inclined to say let's have some fun before Captain puts a damper on it.
All right. And Sindri, as a couple pirates have now noticed the hammer that you had manifested, and some of them kind of call out, "What's with that?" and begin to kind of rush and charge. And one of them goes and just kind of goes to grab you, and at first goes for more of a bear hug, but you're much smaller and ends up kind of grasping you around the shoulders and just kind of slips up as you pop down beneath, not expecting how heavy you are. And another just chucks a tankard at you, and it just flies wide. There's alcohol that spews out of it, but it doesn't quite hit on top of you. And that will bring us to Clyde.
All right. Clyde is going to turn to Roland, put his hand on his whip, cast invisibility on Roland, and then pull his whip out with a crack. To start playing the lute. Play Jasira, oh my hero. And he's gonna play it to that verse you sent me. Post that in here and give Jasira inspiration.
All right, as Clyde begins to just call out these lyrics, and the bards actually pick up on this song. Apparently, I've known that it's a well enough known.
Close enough.
Yeah, and they begin playing the backing track. So, Jasira, you do have inspiration for this moving forward, and at this point, one of the back doors opens, kind of kicks open. And there is a heavily armored with this dark blackened armor pirate that steps out. He's also got a thick red beard, but it's much more wild, more unkept and untamed than the previous individual. And he immediately locks eyes over to where Jasira is and begins to head in that direction. And this individual, he walks with intense purpose, and you can see instead of a hand on his left side, there is just a curled blackened hook that kind of peeks out into two claws. And that will bring us back to Jasira.
Well, my comment on this is that they're bitches for not using their fists. But that is my personal opinion. So, let's see.
Just here. I thought this was a brawl.
Yeah, I thought we were fighting, y'all. What is this? Besides, he's fine. He's taking a nap. Y'all need to chill.
Oh, no.
So, for one, we're gonna try to hit this guy 3 times.
The guy who clocked you?
Yeah, the guy who's in front of me.
All right, the animalistic warrior. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the freak of nature.
Ooh.
Well, and apparently I get to re-roll, so we're probably gonna have to use that. And then there's my third. So we'll re-roll the nat 1.
Go for it. Hey, all right, yeah.
And because of abilities, let's see. We're also going to use a Hand of Harm on one of those.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
let's see. How does that work? So basically, when you hit the creature with an unarmed strike, I do 1 key to deal extra damage. And it's free, I think is how it works. Or is it this one?
It's your martial arts die plus your wisdom and damage.
Yeah. Which, that's normal? Was that normal, but it's necrotic? I think.
Yeah, it's necrotic damage.
Isn't that how it normally calculates? I mean, is that how it normally calculates, or is that just -1 of my normal? Looks like.
Normally, it is your dexterity instead of your wisdom. So you're like, if you roll damage for your martial attack, it's your unarmed plus your dex. It'd be your unarmed plus your whiz for the Hand of Harm.
Cool. Well, we'll do that, and then this one. The second one will be necrotic, so I guess it'd be -1.
Okay.
So 6 necrotic.
Okay.
Or sorry, extra damage. Wait, that's different. Hold on, I have
so
to do an
roll that
additional.
again and then do the same.
Yeah. So here, we'll do 7, 7, and 3.
Okay.
But the 3 is necrotic.
Yeah. So you
And then we're gonna duck the fuck out. We're gonna try and get lost in the crowd away from Mr. Creepy Claus.
That necrotic damage got like really like sucking a little bit of his soul out.
yeah,
Just a
and
little
That'd be really.
it's
It'd be cool.
There's kind of a land in the ribs, and as he kind of goes to block, you go in for the neck and shoulder, and as you pull back, there's just a little bit of shadowy essence that pulls back with the punch, and you see his breath kind of catch for a moment. Oh, and I meant to show you all this one. This is the guy that just knocked out cold.
I don't see him. Here he is.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
He thought he was
Oh,
a badass.
damn.
Well, I punched him real good.
Man.
You did indeed.
And yeah, so if
He's
you
also gonna be
allow,
real angry in about 6 seconds.
and that's exactly why with
The whole
rest of,
encounter.
like with
we
movement,
just extend the encounter. I got ideas.
that's why with movement, I would like to try to like duck into the crowd and get lost since everyone else is throwing fists.
Okay, you will
That's my-
take an
that's my
attack of
goal.
opportunity, but I'll give it to you at disadvantage
fine.
for the situation.
I'm
Ooh.
cool with it.
First one was a 19, second one was a 7. So yeah, he swings out at you as you try to leave, and you just duck through, and he collides with another individual and sends them kind of knocked backwards. But you are able to make your distance away from them.
So as a side note, was she able to clock the person that clocked her, I guess? Mr. Creepy Claw?
Yeah,
She will-
he's still
she will
across the
definitely-
room.
Yeah, so she would try to go the opposite direction of both of them at all possible. So
Yeah, so really at this point you're moving almost towards the front door,
Cool.
kind of back towards where the rest of your group is, because you
That
guys
sounds
were
good.
over by the over on one side by the bards, and one of the back rooms had opened up where this other red bearded individual is kind of walking forward with the
Even
clawed
better.
hand, and that will bring us to Roland.
All right. Any spell, not just damage. Any spell will drop invisibility. Shit. Okay. I should have cast detect magic before asking for invisibility. Oh well. I'm going shopping. We're gonna start with Mr. Dazed and Confused. So Roland's gonna head over there and give him a quick pat down for a coin purse or anything that looks like it might be fancy or magical.
So he is on he's like halfway across this, and so to navigate across this brawl that is happening, it's going to take you a turn to get over there. Is that okay? Or do you want to hit someone up on the way?
Can I use my cunning action to either do dash or disengage, to use the cunning action to either slip between people without getting hit or get extra movement?
Yeah, I'll give you that. Absolutely. That's a great use.
Okay. So movement and bonus action to get over there, and then I'll search him with my action.
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Okay. And there is nothing that's going to help this because I don't want to do a spell. And I don't have any...
Please don't.
Out of curiosity, does the eye patch give me any bonus to investigation? Since I bought it before we got here and would have attuned.
I don't believe so, but yeah, okay. I will allow you to attune to it, and I'll go ahead and give it to you.
Yeah, he would have bought it and walked out and just like put it on.
Yeah, basically. No, that makes sense. Yeah. I do not believe it gives you a bonus to investigation, but it may help in here, so you should have that now, and I'll move that down to you.
Awesome. All right, flat investigation check. Here it comes. With a 5, total of 12.
All right. So you pat down this individual, and very quickly find that he, most of what he has on him is the leather armor, and you very quickly find that there is this kind of thickened hide underneath the bottom portion. It's actually a very intricate leather style that you haven't seen. And for a moment you're kind of caught by that, and you catch a couple of tattoos across the shoulder that do bear resemblance to some that you had kind of the style that you had seen from X marks, and upon the back of his kind of right above, or right at his waist, right above his rear end, that he's kind of laying upon, is some sort of thick scroll. It's not one that is like a handheld. It's like a large, almost like a map scroll that is there. But that's really the only obvious thing that you can see on him at the moment.
Can I get the scroll?
Go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check.
Okay. Do I get any bonus since he's...
No, it's more how quickly you're able to pull it off. It's kind of...
You get the buckles done.
Yeah, and he's dead weight, so he's laying on top of this that is also making it difficult here.
I found it with one hand, now I'm trying to unsnap the bra with the other hand.
Okay.
I expected a worse roll with that analogy.
Better than average.
You pop off one side and get it kind of slid out. It's still just barely stuck under, but you think within the next few seconds you could have it free.
Okay. He'll just kind of like position himself to not be directly in the way when he stands up, and hope that he like stands up and walks away, and I still have the scroll in my hand.
Okay. All right. Sindri.
So the big guy is like grabbing my shoulders, right?
Yeah, there's a big guy who's kind of up on your shoulders. He doesn't have a really good grasp because it doesn't seem like he was able to really give a solid grapple. But he's right there in the midst of trying to kind of give you a bear hug. Just not sure of how to do that with you being so small.
Sindri is going.
Last time they threw someone.
Well, I'm a little harder to throw.
That's fair.
Sindri's going to reach up and grab his arms while he's grabbing my shoulder, and he is going to start getting bigger. So, just staring at him, just slowly as I begin towering over him, and start like until my arms reach along his arms to grab his shoulders, and he can no longer reach my shoulders, and then I'm going to start pressing him down.
This is how you do it.
All right, so are you attempting a grapple here, or are you just attempting to push him off?
I am trying to like press him into the ground. I don't know if I can do that with a grapple, but
we'll go ahead and
knock prone. Shove attack to not prone.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, then I'll do that.
Yeah, that's just an athletics check, I believe. I can test in athletics.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not grappling. I'm just doing what he was doing to me, but better. So get advantage. Yeah, 19. But this is for 24.
Well, he got a 7, so
the disadvantage one would have won.
Yeah. You just knock back his arms and then just give a shove straight to his chest, and he not only falls down but gets pushed backwards and like slides through a couple tables as he slams into the bar, and is just unmoving in this moment with that amount of force.
I want it to be like slow, so like as I get higher, I push more and more down till it just like collapses.
Sure.
So, like no shoving. I don't push his arms away; they just let go because my arms become longer than his, and so he can't reach my shoulders anymore. And just slowly like
pushing, and then he starts running. And
I love it. I love it.
It's a very slow change. Just staring directly into his eyes the whole time.
All right. So in this moment, there's kind of a small group of pirates that begin to come over and lift up the red-bearded man up off the ground. And he kind of dusts off his shoulders and kind of tries to clear his head as best he can. And oh my gosh, you lucky. With the natural 1, does not notice as Roland pulls out the scroll from behind, and they are focused on Jasira, and as a group begin to rush forward, and he begins to just get this intensity across his face, and the kind of animalistic one with the oily hair rushes after and matches your speed, Jasira, as he comes over, and he, from just behind, as you kind of turn around, is suddenly there and gives 2 quick strikes to you. The first one misses, and the second one hits for
silvery barbs. Please.
Okay.
Thanks, Krez.
Trying to return the favor for the attack.
Thank you.
As there is just a out of tune ping from Clyde's loot. It is just enough to pull the punch, and it whiffs right by your face, and you can feel the breeze of it. But out of anger, he will go ahead and throw out 2 more after that. Okay.
Miss.
Well,
miss,
they're at least level
miss,
5.
miss.
No,
No.
they're both gonna be like nat 20s. Just
The first one will hit you for 4 points of bludgeoning damage. The second one is indeed a natural 20. And
Hold on. Really quick, give me 1 second. Math is hard. I think that's right. Okay, and then I will say on the critical injury table, I have a thing that allows you to minus 10.
Oh, perfect.
So.
Good to know.
cool.
Because she wanted to be a brawler.
Very helpful.
So she wanted to be a brawler.
I would say yes.
Can I redirect that hit to the person I'm pushing down?
So, with those, can you post the ability for me?
Yeah.
Is it a weapon attack?
No. Oh, I think it's just attack.
It is any attack. It is when someone is attacked. So the attacker doesn't need to be in 30 feet, but the target does.
You want to post it?
Yeah, sorry, I'll be running out of my
Pushing him
graph.
down, and a portal appears, and a fist comes out of it and punches him in the face.
Okay, so when you are a creature you can
Hit
see
by
within
an
30
attack
feet,
roll.
you can use your reaction to invoke the attacker. The chosen creature becomes the target of the attack using the same roll. Okay, so I will say that you can do this. What will be tricky and what I'll try to remember is that you can't wait until a natural 20 happens and only use that when you know it's a crit. So you can do it when you know it's a hit, but not on kind of the results. Typically how these things work. And so if you want to use it here, I'll allow you to use it on the first attack, or you can save it for later, and I'll try and describe a hit and then lead into the natural 20 after to give you time. Does that make sense?
I don't like that interpretation, but I will accept it for now.
Don't worry. We'll just have to get someone paralyzed, and then you can get auto crit on him.
Okay.
So am I still taking 4 damage? I'm just trying to make sure.
So Nick, did you want to use this still on one of these attacks, or did you want to?
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to use it on the crit.
Okay, go ahead.
Because it works the same way like a paladin can use his smites on a crit. It has a similar wording. So if paladins can use their smite for crit, this works the same. Is my argument.
So Yes, the difference is that whenever it's a paladin ability, you can see the roll, and so you know what it is. When it's an enemy, you can't see the roll, and so it's still when after the roll. He
doesn't actually have to tell us it's like, at any point.
Yeah.
It's like casting shield. You don't get to ask, was the roll within 5 of my
Exactly.
AC?
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's not your roll that you're choosing it, Nick. It's the DM's roll that you're choosing it off of.
Yep.
Or another player's.
In this particular instance, since we hadn't made that assumption, go ahead and roll me a d6. If it's an even, then you can then it'll block the crit. If it's an odd, it'll block the first one.
Okay.
Either way, it helps.
Okay. Luck is with you all today.
Yeah.
All right, and so you were redirecting it to the person attacking you. Is that what I heard?
Well, I think I'm the person attacking him at this point, but yes.
Well, there were 2 on you. You knocked down one, and then there's a second one still there.
Yeah, the one that I'm pushing to the ground, as I stare at him, the rune on my chest is going to glow, and just a fist out of nowhere just clocks him.
Okay.
I'm ignoring the other guy. He gets ignored right now.
So you, Jasir, you still take the 4 bludgeoning, but the second fist that is going, you suddenly see it like at your head, and then suddenly there is this just bluish magic that is there. It's like a small circle of magic just for a moment, and then he pulls back his punch and it's gone. But in Sindri, you just suddenly see this black gloved fist slam into this person's head, and their entire body kind of jitters as their fingers start to just stretch out straight as they lay down completely unconscious.
Sindri, open your mouth when you do it.
So since that
Sindri's
one guy's in front of...
He just slowly pushes him down until eventually he's just lowering him to the ground.
What was that, Jasir?
So basically, since that one guy targeting Jasir is like right in front of her and clearly missed her again, I think she's just gonna smirk and just like revel in it a little bit. Like, just be like, yeah, bitch, that's what happened.
And there's like an angry snarl from him, and up this close you can see that he actually has what looks like some thin quills across his nose, almost as a long piercing, in that tribal like way. And that will bring us to Cade. As Cade, you and Tiago are up on the 3rd deck in this moment, kind of fighting off back to back against various people coming at you.
Okay. So the people coming at me, like, how serious are they, or is Tiago mostly fending them off?
They are drunk pirates. You guys in this moment are more than equipped to handle at least the ones around you. The ones down on the main floor are a bit more serious and targeted, but these ones up here are just looking for a good time and looking to spice things up, and they are not... Tiago is having more fun with them than actually hurting them, but he's more than capable of handling himself and kind of leaving you to handle the other half.
An actual butter knife out? No, he's got a spoon.
Spoon, yeah. He has his fork.
So does Cade spot the fact that people are like trying to like gang up on Jazeera in a very serious manner?
Give me an insight check here. Due to the situation.
Very obvious. Clyde is definitely making that area the center of attention.
It is definitely obvious down on the ground, but she is up on a deck, and so it's kind of it's going to be if she's close enough to the rail to kind of see what's going on. It
wasn't supposed to be a disadvantage. Sorry, it's a 22.
Is much better.
It was a low DC anyway, so either of them would have succeeded. But yes, you can clearly see that there is numerous individuals who are like crossing through the brawl, headed in the direction of Jasira, and consequently Clyde and Boko and Sindri.
Okay, I don't like how serious that has gotten, so Cade's gonna like kind of do like the neck crack, like and I will go ahead and assume my archer form.
Oh, fuck.
Do it.
And so I'll start with a guiding bolt at anyone that is actively surrounding Jazeera, whatever dude is there.
Black gloved bitch, get him.
Okay, I will do a guiding bolt at black glove bitch.
Okay. Oh my
Oh, that does not hit.
It's
It
so
did not.
disappointing.
No.
Okay, well, I mean, it's whatever. I get a free one every day. I don't care.
Yeah.
And then I'll follow up with an archer shot, and
Yeah, go for
hopefully
it.
that hits.
You can't hang out by Tiago. You're getting nervous.
Yeah, Tiago
Getting nervous.
Tiago's not even
I
really
have
looking and
great
just
insight, and then I can't hit anything whenever he goes to attack.
Tiago just. You have relied too much on the magic. If you would like to help your friends, you must go to them. And with that, he will. Yeah. He just kind of grabs onto one of these large banners from above, and kind of with the fork that he had, just kind of jabs it into where it's hooked, grasps the side, and then kind of picks you up and swings you out over the banister and down towards still about 10 feet above where the floor is, but drops down enough for you two to kind of roll out of it. Go ahead and make me an athletics check, or acrobatics, actually, if you'd like.
Seriously? I'm king of chaos! No.
No.
Damn it, Tiago!
You do have
Poor guy.
advantage with his help on this, I'll say.
Well, and by the way, I think Cade also has inspiration, by the way,
Does she?
from the voting.
I
That was, like,
do.
Sindri,
Oh,
Cade,
yeah. The
And just
I
zero.
think David voted for me and no one else voted in the tabletop one. So I think I
Welcome.
also get another. Thank you.
I thought we couldn't, so I didn't vote for any.
me neither. I was like, can I vote for people?
I mean, it's open to the
Okay.
community. Whoever in the community wants to vote.
My athletics and my acrobatics are the same, so...
Beautiful.
Yes, they
Don't
are.
need any help.
You just gotta roll with the story. The story is there.
You want it? Yeah, you're supposed to go with them. You gotta fight up close.
Yeah, so just swinging.
You know, like when you build a sniper and you decide to use your rifle.
Well, now you have a knife attached.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Yeah, so Tiago just grabs you up before you can say anything. And you're like, wait. And he just cuts off and jumps down, swinging across. And you can hear the fabric tearing as he kind of swings. But before it can fully tear off, he drops you down. And both of you kind of instinctively... There have been moments where he would do crazy things like this, kind of jumping from the rigging and forcing you to kind of think on your feet. And just that instinct hits and you both roll down onto the ground and pop up to your feet right behind where this group is kind of moving towards your other companions here. And
I just like, I didn't fight up close!
the grin on his face could not be any bigger. The pirate still remaining next to Sindri has this moment of overconfidence, perhaps, and well, maybe I say that. Goes to swing in towards Sindri, and just Sindri, you have been focusing on this individual, and as you've been pressing down on one of them, he's kind of almost just limp there, but the other one kind of comes up and just swings out with this tankard on his hand that he's picked up and just cracks you right into the skull here, and you actually you'll take all of 1 bludgeoning damage. But it is to your health points, and you are now considered compromised, and you have disadvantage on all attack rolls until the end of the encounter with a random natural 20 here. Rolling real high. And that will bring us to Clyde.
Is that one guy still up all in Jasira's business?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Oh yeah. Then mid-strum, he's gonna switch his just his features, or because we don't have a name, into the song to diss him, saying that Jasira is gonna whip his ass and gonna viciously mock him. It's what? But let's see if I can get that disadvantage for it.
That does succeed.
Yeah.
And that, what, does a disadvantage on the next attack roll, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. And that will bring us. So you now all see that armored pirate who's kind of stepping forward from the back and has this hook out, and he's not rushing, but he is moving with purpose, and just as people come up, just kind of grabbing them by the arm and tossing them to the side, and everyone is kind of giving him a wide berth as he's stepping forward and will be closing in here shortly. Jasira, you can now see him kind of behind this group that is now swarming up around you. And it is your turn as you face off against this man here with the black gloves.
Also, Austin, at the top of the round, can we roll Thashalt into initiative now that Noah's here?
Yes, absolutely. Thashalt, if you would go ahead and roll an initiative.
All right, don't worry. Nothing bad will happen.
We've been doing so good, so if it starts going poorly, we know who did it.
Oh, come on, man. Don't be that way.
Jasira knocked out the first combatant before Clyde
the
hit
Crimson
the ground.
Haze.
Nice.
Before the Crimson Haze. Good spot to roll.
Yeah.
Good. Crimson Haze are enemies?
Yes.
Everyone who isn't us is an enemy.
Okay,
The
that's
Crimson
about...
Haze are ganging up on Jasira, so murder their nuts.
Alright, cool. Yeah, we can do that.
Alrighty. So
You're muted.
yep, it is your turn though, Brie.
Thank you. Anyway, so I'm confused. So are the red bearded pirates part of the Crimson Haze, or are they different? Like what's and like
you're in this moment,
like
you're not
lore-based.
sure exactly who is who. All you know, at least in this moment, is that this individual is right in your face.
And he's got a stupid face. Yeah, he does.
Ooh, man. Apparently the Crimson Haze does not have a dental plan.
Nah, they're kind of nasty little fuckers, aren't they? So, just as a quick assessment, like, how's he looking?
He looks totally fine. If anything, he looks excited
not
in this
good.
moment.
That's not good. Okay.
Make him match Clyde.
Clyde's doing
I wish
fine.
I could.
That's what I said. Clyde's doing fine.
Yeah, I thought Clyde was good.
This is the most
Clyde needs
damage.
to run so I keep invisibility.
So, my ultimate goal, like, I'm still gonna try to punch this guy, but my ultimate goal is to hopefully hide behind, like, Boko. Like, Boko, help, they're
for the
punching
moment,
me.
Boko is kind of off in the back corner over by the front
Boko
door.
got knocked out by Clyde.
He was kind of pushed
shit.
out of the fight. He's kind of currently fighting off a couple of others and kind of holding his own for now, but not really able to provide much assistance in this moment.
Can anyone provide, like,
Go get him, Jasira.
just
You
a
see-
difficult barrier?
You see Big
Can anyone-
Sindri. Big Sindri and Clyde are both over there.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
cool, yeah.
Thashalt.
If you can
And
see
the
Roland,
bards
I
are
mean,
literally singing your
You know what?
name.
Believe me, I love it. It's hyping her real well. She just needs to make it a little bit more difficult to get to her.
The Schultz
she's
here now.
not-
Push the Schultz in front.
I'll try that. We'll see. So I guess first we're gonna try to punch him. So we're gonna punch 3 times, but 1 is actually a hand of healing for me.
Okay.
So we're gonna punch twice and see how that goes. Oh boy, I don't like that. I don't like that either. I gotta land at least one of these.
Do you still have
Can
the
I use that
inspiration from Clyde?
inspiration?
You do have bardic inspiration.
Yeah, so you can roll a
it could be
d6 on one of those.
Ooh, let's try that. 1d6, please.
Hey!
Hey.
That'll hit.
Beautiful. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna do that.
6.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
good. And then, how does Hand of Healing work? I roll martial arts and wisdom again, but then it heals me instead. So I'll click.
So 4.
So that'll be a 4 heal.
I'm good.
So I healed 4 hit points.
What does that look like,
Or-
Jasira?
Math is hard. I think it's just that. Oh god, not that. Okay. So what I kind of picture Sorry, I was trying to type 7, and then apparently I typed 17 because that's how many hit points I was supposed to have, but I wrote 117. I was like, no. Anyway, I kind of figured it'd be like, and then it's just kind of like magical, cute, sparkle bullshit. and then
I love
maybe
magical,
a little
cute,
inky,
sparkling.
I don't know, because souls and stuff. And then she's gonna say, the show! Help me out here, buddy.
Alright, before we get to that, Roland, you have kind of been left behind here on the back edge of the room, but you have this large scroll in your hands, and it has slowly faded to invisibility with you. What are you doing?
Okay, also, while I'm describing this, you have some questions in Discord.
Oh.
So he's just like, it's fading into invisibility with him, and it's this big old scroll, so he's gonna like kind of tuck it into his jacket. Yeah, he's got the big ass trench coat, which, like, he's a rogue, he has pockets, but he's gonna try and like tuck it in there and wedge it in a little ways to kind of deal with it later. And then I have another question. When you're done with that, I have a unique interpretation of my insightful fighting that I'd like to try for, instead of a targeted thing of figuring out one person's specific ability score. I would like to figure out who within walking range has the lowest chance of detecting that I'm picking their pocket.
Who's the drunkest in this fight?
Yeah, exactly. Who's the drunkest? Who is just not paying attention? Who's unconscious? Like,
Okay.
That's what I'd like to use my bonus action for.
I'll let you make an intelligence check for that. And then, Noah, to answer your questions, you have had a long rest, and they did not disarm your armor. So any weapons they would have taken, but the metal armor they did not remove.
Wait, they didn't take my entire armor?
Nope.
No. Yeah. So
I am fully equipped.
you go after the big guy.
Big guy, yeah. The big guys are usually dumb.
Okay, so
he
cool.
won't see me.
I'm fully equipped. The fools.
Yeah, you know, I.
You have inspiration.
Black glove
right?
guy must have some cool
inspiration.
shit on him.
Oh dear.
Right in the middle of the fight.
You are on the backside over where this fight first popped out. And you see that over to the side there are bards that are playing and focused on the brawl. And you see a line of them. There is a tiefling there. There's a kind of brown-skinned, dreadlocked man. And then there's also a female with her hair kind of pinned up with a sash across her forehead. And they seem to be focused on the fight and seeing their bards.
Is the tiefling Shadia?
No, it is not.
Okay.
It is a male tiefling. He has this kind of black dreadlocks down. He's got jewelry across his face and horns, and then actually has dyed part of his beard and dreadlocks to be orange to match kind of his bronzing type of metal underneath his robes.
Roland's gonna fuck me.
They're non-combatants. Roland isn't going to rob bystanders.
All right.
So he will pick the closest person to him who has their back turned or is on the ground, and will try to look for a coin pouch and grab it.
All right. Give me a sleight of hand for this.
Okay. I can't roll.
Oh dear.
So in this brawl, moving back and forth, you're kind of like moving forward and like, oh, and you see kind of the edge, and then they kind of get tossed out of the way, and you're like, and kind of moving over to the next one, rush over and kind of try and swing through and grab something else. And you eventually kind of move forward, and there is that man who's just unconscious on the edge of the bar that had been kind of tossed over. And you're just like, Whatever. And you rifle through his pockets and you get about 7 silver pieces.
7 silver. I will add them to my pouch.
Oh, he's not gonna be able to pay his tab after this.
All right, and that'll bring us back.
The tab after this, no one's going to be able to pay.
That'll bring us back to Sindri. Sindri, you have just been slammed in the head. And there is blood actually kind of pooling out of your eye a bit, that your vision is just a little bit off. And this man is kind of standing in front of you and just is like, yeah!
I would like to beat the dude with the other dude.
Sure, why
So
not?
after like laying him gently on the ground.
Are you proficient in improvised weapons?
Yes. Well, no.
Oh no? Okay, then just make me a strength roll here.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
17.
That's fine. So you just pick up the other guy by his arms and just swing him around and slam him into the other person. Go ahead and roll me, or no, it'd just be your strength, I believe, is the base one for this. What is your strength? Is it 3? Is that right?
Yeah, it's +3.
Okay. Yeah, so you slam into this poor fellow, and they both kind of go tumbling off to the side here. Anything else for you?
The guy that I hit, still standing, or did he seem okay?
Sindri's worried. Did I hurt him?
The guy that you hit with the other guy?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, he's not like down for the count. It definitely hurt though.
As I do my quick swing up with the body, the body just catches fire as it smacks into him, and I'd like to use my fire rune with it.
Sure. Sure. Oh god. 7?
Ignore the 1d6.
Yeah.
It should just be the 7 fire.
So the guy that you're swinging around is not dead yet. And now is lit on fire and swung into another guy who's now also on fire. And as they kind of crumple in a pile, they just look at each other and start screaming and rush forward. And another guy nearby is like, I got it, and tosses out some liquid, and it is alcohol, and just whoosh, begins to chorus the fire up into the banners. And they begin to rush off to the side there. Thishol, you have been kind of pulled in front by Jasira, and you see this animalistic man with this oily black hair and these black gloves, who's kind of facing off, and there is kind of a cavalcade behind him moving up to assist. What are you doing?
I see. And they're coming up behind him.
Yeah, there's one there, and there's about 4 others behind him, and then across kind of the room there's another who's kind of cutting through in that direction as well.
Oh dear. All right. And you said I am still fully equipped with my armor?
Yep.
All right. Well, let's use the big guy to knock into the other guys.
Alrighty.
We're gonna try and ram forward on him.
Go for it. Give me that roll.
Team power.
Oh dear.
So you rush forward, and in this moment, the guy with the black gloves just dodges out to the side, but you're already in it, and so you are rushing forward, and you pick up kind of the edge of a table and kind of spin forward, and there is just 3 guys just drinking, watching the thing, and you suddenly spiral it and kind of slam into the table there and toss them up, and they all just lift their tankards, and the table goes flying, and they just kind of put their tankards back down and take another sip.
And then 2 flaming gentlemen are thrown onto their table.
since I put myself out of position, just salute to them, gentlemen, and then I'm gonna run back to try to get back in front of the black-haired guys so I can at least reposition.
Yeah, so you reposition, and you really at this point kind of get up to the edge as these other individuals begin to close. The man with the black gloves continues to go after Jasira. And Jasira, you're going to take another 2 hits here. The first one is going to do 6 points of bludgeoning damage, and the second is going to do 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Easy.
Well, that kind of hurts.
And as these other 3 individuals come up, Thishalt, you first see as kind of moving over to confront you is this just completely hairless individual who's wearing this vest of thick hair-like fur. And just these leather pants, and his arms are just red. It either looks like the skin has been peeled off or it's been dunked in blood, but it is completely unnerving. And he has all white eyes and just this small, thin red mohawk as he comes up to you and just begins to kind of look you over left and right, and then kind of in this quick fluid motion swings out with a fist towards you. And it gets caught on the edge of your armor and just kind of slides off. And without just a word, just kind of he just kind of moves over to the side of you as another one steps up. And this one, he is also not wearing a shirt and has these long black gloves and just kind of almost like a skirt, but it's just barely split, and these long orange dreadlocks out of his face, and is wearing kind of the silver mask across the bottom of his face. And he steps forward and just gives two quick punches straight to you. And the first one deflects off your armor. The second one hits for 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ha! Ow!
And with that, finally catching up, the red-bearded man catches up to Clyde and is once again going to move in. Clyde, I need you to make me an athletics or acrobatics check.
I believe in you, Clyde.
Visibility up.
Yeah, neither of those are great with. Acrobatics. A 21.
As he goes for a bear hug around you, you just nope and duck down, and his arms just whiff down. And out of anger, he just swings down heavily in with just two fists that come down hard on your head. And that does hit. You are going to take 6 points of bludgeoning damage, and I do need a Constitution save for that invisibility.
Save. Yeah.
I believe in Clyde.
No.
As Roland, luckily you're out of the way. At this point, just kind of looking over
through an unconscious person's
you kind of pull the coins out as the invisibility fades. And
maybe it's time. Maybe things have turned in the fight. Please help.
And at this moment, the man who had been coming from the back with that wild red beard kind of catches you fade from invisibility, and you see his eyes kind of clock down at you as he's moving forward. But it is not yet his turn. And that will bring us to Cade.
Okay, where is Cade at now that I don't have the high ground where I wanted to be?
Cade is basically where she was on the back end, but just lower down on the ground. So you guys, you're at the very far back by the kind of where the bards are, at the back end of this tavern.
Okay. Cade's just like, Tiago, you always have to make things a little more difficult.
You wanted to help your friends. Here we are.
How big is this bar?
It is massive. It's probably a 40-foot radius circle.
Okay. How far away is Jazeera and company that are in trouble?
Maybe 50 feet, give or take, 40 to 50 feet.
Okay. Are the people that are coming towards her, have they reached her yet, or are they still kind of behind?
The one with the black gloves is there. Two of them have kind of pulled off to Thishalt, and one of them has gone over to Clyde. But they're all within 15 to 20 feet.
Okay. You know what? Cade is just having fun making this bar a fucking hazard. There's water everywhere, everyone's slipping and sliding. We're just gonna make it... No. We're gonna make it more difficult to move around, and wherever those guys are, Cade wants to center entangle.
Okay, this will be where your party is as well. Is that alright? Because they are nestled among them. It's not like they're on the insides and the party's on the outside. Like, it is a brawl. Everybody's mixed together here.
Yeah, Cade's feeling Cade, with that, I feel like, hold on, actually backtrack. With that 22 insight, does Cade feel like it's gotten a little hostile from the Redbeards? Like a little too hostile?
Yes, absolutely. There is a ton of hostility coming off of them, especially the one next to Clyde.
Okay, knowing that this hostility has gotten pretty bad, Cade's kind of hoping this will maybe just like make everyone realize that this might have got a shade too far from a typical bar brawl. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the entangles.
Okay.
No one's pulled a knife yet.
Then all 4 of them will go ahead and roll. And I would like for this will be Thashalt, Jasira, Sindri, and Clyde to also roll me a
saving strength. Yeah.
Yep, a strength saving throw.
Nope, I'm here to stay.
Yes, I'm still stronger than Clyde.
Oh, we're all here in the mosh pit.
Yeah.
And I need Sindri. Yep. So Sindri breaks out. The Redbeard breaks out. Black Gloves breaks out, and the one with the orange dreadlock breaks out. The one with the red fist is kind of wrapped up in this entangle, as the others are also wrapped up, unfortunately.
Drop it. Drop it.
Well, okay. Out of curiosity, though, does it get other people messed up in it too?
Oh, 100%. 100%. There are dozens of other pirates caught in this. This is a large radius.
Okay. Next question, just as a result of this, though, does this kind of get everyone's attention snapped on, like, this might be getting a little far? Does anyone else start to realize this?
We will address that in a moment, actually.
Okay.
And most of the pirates, we're going to say, are entangled, the other pirates. But Clyde, it is your turn.
How close am I to Jasira?
10 feet, we'll say.
Clyde's gonna toss Jasira's flask. Air catch! What do you want for that? It's gonna be disadvantage on on the dex save, but not a dex check.
Yeah, just give me an acrobatics check here, I think.
All right.
Yeah, it's not difficult. Jasira is a monk. You kind of get tossed this flask, Jasira, and kind of catch it on the edge of your hand as you're looking down the snarling face of Black Gloves here.
And I will use my bonus action to give a healing word to Jasira.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yep. We'll see how much more I can do after these guys finish beating my ass into the ground.
Me too, because I helped. And they're mad, apparently.
Alrighty.
Maybe
That's
they
all
got
I got.
scurvy. They saw salty.
Then in this moment, the one with the kind of wild beard, and as you as he gets closer here, you do catch more of a sign or more of a vision here, and the hook actually spirals for a moment, and instead of a hook, it becomes a sharp spike. And the hand goes to lift up as he moves in the direction of where Clyde is wrestling with this other red-bearded individual. And as the arm kind of pulls back to strike down, it is suddenly caught mid-push as this massive blue hand has wrapped around the arm and lifts it up into the air. And standing up from his table is this massive blue orc. I think it's time to calm down.
Yeah.
And
part of the crew,
I love you.
part of the ship.
As in this moment, you see as now both the beast has stood up, as well as that purple creature Hazel, and the large Goliath woman Ko. The three of them large and imposing next to the bar as they dwarf this man, who immediately kind of pulls it free, shifts it back to a hook, and kind of motions as the other of them slowly duck out of the bar, quickly kind of retreating out as things have quieted down. And the beast.
During that, can Sindri kind of like shift over to where all these other really tall, intimidating people are, and kind of like try to join the tall, intimidating group?
Absolutely.
And, like, put on a stern face and cross his arms.
Give me an intimidation check.
Oh, for
Yes.
all of flesh.
In the meantime, Cade will drop Entangle now that it's kind of like pittered things out.
Please and thank you.
It served its purpose.
Absolutely.
Oh, damn.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, you fit right in with this group of just three immense people. And in this moment, you all, for the first real time, since a bit of companionship with the one known as the Beast of Kadnua, or as most of the rest of the crew refer to him, Magnus. And we will finally give that card as well.
Ooh. Yeah.
And as he looks around at everyone, we go back to drinking now, yes. And just downs a tankard, and everybody from the floor to the rafters just and begins to slowly pick up tables and set down and shift back to normal operations here.
I didn't think he could get any more epic than he already was, and then that name.
And then he did it.
That name. Oh.
I love this crew.
Cade will stroll up to Clyde at this point, and it's just like, well, I'm starting to realize why you're missing so many teeth.
Nah, that was pretty tame.
Didn't get hit once.
Mm-hmm. You were doing so spectacularly over here, being thrown across the bar. I admit, that's the furthest I've seen a halfling thrown.
Yeah, did you see how Desir dropped him? Now that's something.
That was pretty damn
Anyone
impressive.
can throw a halfling.
Thank you. And on that note, can we use her last key point to also do another hand of healing?
Yeah, go for it.
Also,
Well,
Just to be a little more...
You can do
While-
that. You can also take a swig of the shine Clyde gave you.
Oh, she'll do both. She's just
okay.
gonna make sure she's extra comp.
You lose
Ah.
control of one eye.
Maybe. It's just a DC 12.
We'll find out.
While everything
So
is
sorry, ignore that. 6, so 5. Okay.
while everything is calming down, Roland is taking his hastily bundled away scroll over to Boko and seeing if they can go off into a corner to stash the scroll in Boko's bag of holding.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of have it underneath the cloak, as it's pretty large, and Boko
Yes.
is willing to stash that away for you.
Excellent.
What does...
Just get 2d4 plus 4 stamina back, and then make a DC 12 con save, please.
2d4 plus 4?
Yep.
That might get me back to where I need to be. Almost. That is
pretty good.
26 out of 30. That's not bad.
It's feeling pretty good after a bar fight, but let's see how good.
And a
you feel.
con save?
Yes, please.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Mwah,
you take it
mwah.
like nothing.
She's like, let's go again.
Oh, the bards start playing again.
You know,
but maybe
I had a
no.
feeling you...
No, it's not the insulting version. It's just Jasira.
Whew. Just see
I do
that.
believe you guys are adapting to the pirate life a little quickly.
You all,
I don't.
as Tiago kind of looks across, kind of following up from where Cade is, you all handled the Rock brothers fairly well. I am impressed. Many people do not survive the first round.
Is that the Redbeard ones?
Indeed. Etienne and his older brother Jean-Francois.
Which one I spit at?
That would be Etienne, the younger.
Well, they threw Clyde, so couldn't let that go, I guess.
Also, their actions kind of, led to Tove losing her leg and all that.
Yeah, plus they were kind of pieces of shit, so it's fine.
They are
For the
not...
record, she's saying this within the group, not too loudly, but loud enough.
They're the table next to us.
These,
If they're at the table next to us, she'll...
the one who you fought with, his name is known as, Musta. He is from one of the islands nearby. An interesting individual, but, it seems on par with your own capabilities, if perhaps a bit more practiced, or a bit more feral.
Perhaps a bit of both. He looked like he needed a bath.
I wish many of the people here would take a bath. Perhaps we should find better location. Cade, would your friends like to see the Azure Fox with us?
His face mildly scrunches up, I don't think this is gonna end well for me.
Yes, we would love to see your ship.
I suppose. And Cade kind of turns and tries to give Tiago daggers of, keep your stories to yourself, though.
Oh, you know that my stories are, have a way of manifesting themselves, regardless of how much I may try.
Well, Tiago, rumor tells stories. Can you tell? Cade always been so grumpy.
I believe you will figure out the answer to that one very shortly. And Tiago begins to move out of the captain's daughter and kind of takes a turn heading towards the back end of the cove as you all follow. And it's not very long before you catch sight of something that is truly magnificent. Nestled within the back corner of this cove is a large ship, one that is just dwarfed by the sails that rise out of it, looking like some insectoid wings or some sort of scaled hide. They are colored with jewel tones of green and orange and blue, and there are massive structures, circular geometric designs that bring the sails down to a very elegant, smooth craft, and it is unlike any ship that you have quite seen, and it is truly a sight to behold here. And as you have reached the dock here, Tiago kind of looks up. Oh, it would seem the captain is aloft. And you follow his eyes, and rushing across the top of one of these sails, jumping off, kind of grabbing the edge of a mast and sliding down one of the rails here, popping up, and with a quick roll and flip steps onto the deck and slowly walks in these large heels, the kind of curled cloak into armor of this female figure. Her bluish skin is kind of matched in vibrance with the red of her clothes and of her bright hair as she begins to step forward onto the deck here. And let me grab.
While you're grabbing the photo, for the more observant of the group, Cade visibly relaxes when she sees the ship. And then you see her visibly tense again when she spots this figure.
I will add to that for the more observant of the group. There's kind of a quick gasp in Roland's speech, and if you are very good at hearing what people say that they don't want you to hear, you might catch him say, Merkin, why the
hell did you ever attack that?
As you are kind of taking all of this in, the woman's voice pulls out from where she is. Well, I've inspected this ship stem to stern, and it seems, Mr. Alexander, that you have done yourself well and truly proud. Can you get anything? And then her eyes kind of land on the group of you. Well, it seems you have finally brought what I asked. You all are a bit late, are you not? I believe I did see the Morgan come into port a few hours ago now.
We got a little held up settling some grudges.
And you would be?
Making new ones. I'm Clyde, and pleasure to meet you.
Well, Clyde, I am Captain Azalea Stormfrey, late of a few run-ins with the Carnathi Armada, but I won't bore you with my scars. You've met my first officer, Mr. Alexander. Sterling, tough, dependable, honest, brave, and true. And Tiago is like, oh, please, Captain. Oh, shut up, Tiago. You know I don't mean a word of it. Now, if all of you would like to wait on the ship, I have to have some words with Miss Cascade. And she motions her arm towards the captain's cabin on board the ship.
Cade definitely looks like she's about to go to the principal's office.
The rest of you can come and wait with me. It hopefully will not be too long.
Yeah, actually, I got a question. How do you get the sails get that type of color?
Well, I'll tell you. And as he begins to detail the various makeup of the ship, Cade, you are escorted into the captain's cabin here, and the door is closed but a moment before she spins on a heel. Cascade, what are you thinking? The message we've gotten in here, you were supposed to be on the continent, and then you were across with the pride of Dreadhold of all people. Oh my goodness.
Not at all my fault, okay? It was a just very, very unfortunate happenstance and circumstances. There was a flying tentacle ship, there's stupid people, there was I don't even know, sea monsters. It was a thing, okay? I think I tried.
You do not understand here what all is happening, what is at stake here. This is incredibly, incredibly dangerous, and you have walked into something that is far, far beyond your understanding. Now, we have run out of time, unfortunately, and well, we'll have to see what we can do. I've been trying to figure out a path forward, and I may have one, but it will require a slight deviation to past plans in a way. Regardless, it is good to see that your endeavors did not seem to leave you any worse for wear.
Cade kind of like, it's just a sigh. She's gonna wander over to one of the side cabinets that she knows is in the captain's quarter, and open it up and pour herself and the captain a drink. I'll admit, I don't really know what's going on. Perhaps we should start from the beginning?
Well, yes, you must tell me how you ended up back on the seas with the Morgan of all ships, when I had sent you right on your way to the the very continent that was but a few nautical miles away, and here you are back at Port Krez. And she kind of grabs the drink that you had poured and begins to take a sip, as you begin to fill her in on some of the tales that had occurred since. In the meantime, the rest of you are out on the deck, and the deck is fairly quiet. It seems that many of the sailors of this vessel are away, but Tiago is there, kind of sitting and relaxing, waiting for the conversation inside to conclude. Is there anything that any of you are doing?
see, recouping from the fight, congratulating Jasira. Try and get the deets on these sales.
Yeah, Jasira would make sure Clyde gets his flask back, but other than that, he'll probably just take in the pretty view.
Does anyone else need a shot? Actually, you know what?
Pick
Clyde
me
will
up.
take a hit. Yeah, Clyde will take himself one. 8. Fine. Let's make the con. So Clyde gonna get drunk off his own supply. Fuck yeah, I am!
And if anyone would like to take a short rest now, you can. As Tiago here, kind of just laid back, begins to weave a story for you. Well, you ask about the sails. Long ago, in a land beyond these seas, there was a great master weaver known as Keith. He lived in a world of wonder and magic where gemstones were used in place of fabric. Keith was renowned for his weaving art and was famous for creating sails that could impart the power of the gemstones they were made of. This would help the sails sail faster and stronger than a dove. But how did he do this, you may ask? Well, his secret was known to only a few in his task. He used a special loom, crafted from enchanted wood, that would weave gemstones like they were spun silk thread. He would gather gemstones of every color and hue and would use his loom to weave them together through and through. He used diamonds for strength, rubies for speed, sapphires for protection. The result of the sail, as you can see, is incredible power and grace. It would catch wind and sail at an amazing pace. The gemstones light and glow, and even in the darkest of nights, it provides us with the illumination that we need. Keith's sails became famous across all the land, for they were said to be woven intricately enough to never be broken. We have been lucky enough to have one of the vessels imparted with such a sail.
The gem of the sea.
Looks like she could just take flight. Are they still making these things?
Oh, I do not know. This is just a legend that I've heard.
I was hoping Jasira here might be able to get some use out of that. She's wearing all this fancy jewelry always. Maybe she adds some more.
I have noticed. You are a crafter of such things.
Me?
Oh.
Nah, all I make is the booze. Jasira, though.
Jasira,
You make a real fancy set.
you craft this jewelry yourself.
I do.
It is beautiful. You have a elegant touch.
Thank you. I'd like to think everything is a little bit individualized.
Well, we may be here for some time, so please make yourself comfortable. Back in the captain's cabin, as Captain Stormfray is discussing with Cade. Cade, is there any questions that you have for her after you are done regaling her with your story?
Yeah, so Cade wraps it up with, and then of course Clyde had to told a rather played a rather clever song about the Crimson Haze that ended a little bit rowdy, and now here we are.
Barrmore's crew is not the best to come across. It's a shame that they did not assist, though.
Yes, well, cowards, what can you do?
Perhaps not cowards, perhaps ulterior motives. The Pride is a fast-rising, intricate ship. It is well crewed and performs well over the past few months. It may be a hint of jealousy, perhaps, or something else entirely.
They are certainly very able-bodied. I didn't get a chance to interact with the captain too frequently, but she seemed a formidable woman.
The lioness, yes. I have not seen her much, but she does not seem like someone too cross. That ship on the scale of chaotic across this port seems to be more neutrally based, and with my hope, our members would keep their interactions neutral as well with them. I would hate to become on the wrong side of that particular crew. So it is good that you all were able to, I suppose, make a good impression. Though how you managed to deal with Dreadhold, and goodness, the thought of you even being there is quite unnerving.
Yes, I didn't particularly want to go back, but I was paid rather nicely for the job, so I suppose it's everything came out sunny side up.
Well, we need to be moving quickly. Time is running short, and you and I must make an errand that could take some time away from this island so that we may, or that I may be back in time for the draw in a few days' time. It is urgent.
Yeah. I've heard talk of dragons and things attacking in the sea. What's going on? Everyone's on edge. Everyone's nervous.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check here with advantage.
Okay. Just a flat roll. An average, not great.
There is some dangers with large ships known as sea dragons. They're pirate hunters. But that is not of your importance tonight. Now, they are far away and of little consequence to you. The captains will discuss this at the draw and we'll figure out a way to deal with them. You and I have more pressing matters at hand. We must make a trip to see an old friend.
What do you mean, pressing matters? I mean, I'm confused. I'm not even supposed to be here. How can there be pressing matters now?
Exactly, you're not supposed to be here, and yet you are. And so we must deal with that post-haste, mustn't we?
You going to tell me what's going on, or am I just supposed to follow you this time again?
You're going to have to trust me on this, Cade. There's nothing here that you want to know about. We'll get it sorted, we'll get you taken care of, and on the quickest route back to the continent. And then you can continue on with your journey, and you'll not have to worry about it anymore.
I always trust you. I trust you with my life. Doesn't make it any easier when I'm going in blind, and I've been doing that a lot lately.
You won't be going in blind, we'll be discussing the path forward here. Just, not the reason.
And the companions I've been traveling with, do they have permission to stay here?
I suppose they could stay here if they wanted, or if you are so inclined, I suppose we could bring them with us. As far as I know, the craft we will be aboard should support them.
And what kind of mission is this exactly? Talking, fetching something?
This is not any sort of mission. It is just some simple travel. We will make a quick stop, and then we will be back here within a few days' time.
Can I do an insight to kind of get
Absolutely.
the vibe here?
Roll it at advantage. You know this individual well.
Oh, at advantage.
Also, she's heard the whole quick trip few days time before.
Yeah.
Before tentacles appeared in the sky.
As far as you can tell here, the captain seems very honest and earnest. And she seems to be genuinely believe that this is nothing more intricate than picking up groceries. But there is something else about it. The trip, the destination, it may be relatively straightforward, but there's something unusual, that there's something that she's not telling you about this.
And I need to be on this trip?
It is imperative that you do not leave my sight until this trip is complete.
Great, I'm grounded.
Well, that happens when you break into a prison.
I was bargaining for my freedom. I thought I did very well, and I came out with money. Would you rather have had to pay a ransom to get me back? I mean, come on. Like, wouldn't that be a little sad?
Well, it would have come out of Tiago's paycheck, and Lord knows he doesn't need more money.
Cade is gonna yeah.
So, are your companions coming with us, or should we be off then?
I shall go ask them what they would like to do. They obviously have their own lives they would like to get back to.
Well, let's move quickly then. I'd like to be up onto the nest as quickly as possible.
As part of a bargaining chip, if they come along, can you help us arrange proper transportation back to the continent that hopefully won't be derailed by flying tentacle ships?
I will make sure that whatever ship you are on is the fastest way to get you to the continent. That I can assure you.
Okay. Jeez.
At this point, we're not even really that concerned about the fastest. We just want the safest.
Cade just kind of gets up and it's just like, just keeps downing the drink, and it was just like, damn it, I am too old to be fucking grounded. As she kind of walks out.
Yeah, the captain gives a brief moment before she follows you out, and as you're kind of making your way out of the cabin, there's a man off to the side of the cabin who's been sitting on the outside, an older gentleman with kind of a dusty blonde hair and beard, and a cane kind of resting between his hands as he's sitting. And the captain looks over at him. We'll have to conclude our conversations once I get back from some impromptu travel. I'll find you before the draw. He just gives a slight nod and begins to step slowly using his cane to maneuver off of the Azure Fox and back towards the island. And Cade, you move in the direction of the other members of your party, and Tiago kind of stands up seeing you. With a smile, and the captain gives him a quick glare, and immediately his face just kind of turns down.
Okay, this is some right fancy people you got here you've been running with.
Yes.
And the right.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Saying how fancy ship is with them sails and all that. Tiago was just telling us how they spun that out of gems. I'm trying to see if Jasira will be able to do that.
Oh.
Yes, she's a beautiful craft. A fine place to call home.
Tiago, you're blabbering on about these sails. It borders on a level of ineptitude that approaches imbecilic. And I say that all with as much care as I can. You must not believe the stories that he weaves.
But even the most outlandish stories got just a hint of truth somewhere.
So what's the truth about the sails then? How are they created?
They are sails. They are so unlike any other, just illusions applied to them to make them look different. Now,
Well, then in that case, perhaps the story itself is the gem. And so they are spun from gems because of the stories that they've created.
See, even the one-eyed guy gets it.
Tiago, it seems that you have some company. Now, the matter at hand, we are off on a quick excursion, myself and Miss Cascade.
Cascade.
With the most apprehension that I can muster, or rather withhold, I am extending the offer to join us to you all.
Well, that's mighty nice of you. A couple questions. Where are we going?
Doesn't matter if we're in. You can't just drop her real name on us and expect us not to go along.
No. We're going to get that later alone. We don't need to do that in front of everybody.
Real name?
Time for that.
What were you going by?
But that there's Captain Cade, don't you know?
She erases her eyebrow and looks over. Captain?
I never
That's
told
how
them
we
I
met her.
was the
She had her own
captain.
ship. She had the only ship that wasn't attacking us.
Well,
And she tell you how we fell out of the sky, dragons and tentacle things?
she enlightened me on your past endeavors, yes. But I really must insist we must be off. So if you all are joining, please come in.
What?
And in the future, Mr. Clyde and companions, you will address me as Captain or Ma'am. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
That'll do.
Yes, ma'am.
Can
Now,
we get
with
our
the utmost
one-legged
respect,
companion?
zip your howling screamer and come this way. And she begins to march off the ship.
Clyde would like to message her. Can we get our one-legged companion?
She just kind of, there's a cocking of her head, and just in your mind, Clyde, you hear the response. Can your one-legged companion move at a speed of a two-legged companion?
Yeah, faster than me. That's out loud.
Cade is just like face buried in hands. Like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Clyde's turned it up to 10 because this is... Cade's
Clyde,
head.
roll me a deception check here.
Oh, God. There we go. I roll. 19.
We will only be gone for a few days. I'm sure they can make on without us. If you would
I
like
tried
to,
to sell her last time.
if you would like to go and find them, you may. Otherwise, come with me. I do not have the time to wait any longer. And she gives a glance up at the sky. And you can see now it is evening as the sun is kind of setting. And she is now kind of with a quick step making her way up back towards the city proper here.
Here, you think we could get her?
Okay. Cade will kind of just motion to Clyde. Clyde, I'll take care of it. Cade's gonna just take 2 seconds and is gonna step to the side to Tiago, and just be like, "Our friend was unfortunate and lost a leg. Her name is Tove. She looks a lot like," and going to point at Jazeera. "Do you think you can convince Mogul to take a look at her?"
I will do what I can. Where is she at?
Did we leave her on the ship, or
Yeah.
where's Tove?
She's on the ship.
Okay.
She's on the ship.
That's not a good place for her to stay, probably.
She's on the Pride right now, but we can send her a message to be located elsewhere to be picked up.
Do not worry. I will take care of everything.
Thank you, Tiago.
You will need all your focus and a good bit of luck where you are going.
Which is...
I do not know, but you all are going with the captain, so you will need all the luck that you can get. Have
it's one
fun.
of them.
And he gives you a wave and kind of steps back onto the deck as you all make your way up into the city. And you can see the direction you're headed is kind of on the outskirts of this cove. And already there is a large silhouette of a building that is made of different ship parts, kind of propped up with large masts that looks like it is precarious and about to fall over at any second. That is just dominating the edge of this side as you're kind of weaving up the various planks and steps on the edge of this of the city here. And
Yeah, so while we're weaving, Cade will just step over to Clyde and Jazeera and just be like, I've asked Tiago to have a surgeon / healer pick up Tove and have a look at her. Perhaps they can find something to assist her with her new disability.
That would be great.
I think that's all we
And Tiago, well, he might be flitty and playful as highly competent, I assure you. He'll get the job done.
Seems my type of fella.
all right.
So, Cascade, is that your mom?
That is the captain.
All right.
You didn't answer his
Can we have
question.
an insight check?
Sure. Go for it.
Which Jazeera gets advantage on because it's an insight check. How about 17? Is that enough? Is that good?
Cade, would
Is
you
he
like
super
to describe
uncomfortable?
the impression that they get?
Yeah, you know Cade's probably dodging your question. What she is saying is not untruthful.
Oh, we knew that.
And with those insight checks, you probably get a feeling that Captain is probably the best description you will ever get out of Cade as to what that woman is to her.
My toothless grin gets a little bit wider.
I think Jazeera's response will immediately just be like a pat on the shoulder and say, "Me too." And then we'll follow the rest of the group.
Roland's toothless scowl gets a little bit narrower.
All right, now listen up all. Once we get up into here, we are meeting an old acquaintance of mine. You all will let me do the talking. We will board his craft and then we will be off as quick as a whistle. Please do stay in line and try to remember that you are representing the Azure Fox in everything that you do while you are in my company. Thank you, and continue. And she just continues stepping her...
Can we stay on the land? Do we have to get on another boat? I thought we were going into land.
Cade kind of just puts up the hand to the captain and is just like, I'll take care of this.
Hey.
Sindri, okay, here's the deal. I need to go with the captain and take care of something. You are welcome to come along. Yes, we are getting on another boat.
Seriously, vague. Go on.
You can come with us and aid in whatever journey this may be, or you can stay here on the island by yourself until we return. The captain has promised to aid us in getting on a swift vessel back to the continent, and would be more inclined to do so if we behave ourselves. But you are welcome to stay here, and you can get on the boat at the end if you choose not to come with us.
We're also not taking a boat.
We're not? And you said I was getting on a boat. What are we getting on?
You'll see shortly. Come on, follow me. We're almost there.
Ooh.
Captain, sure.
Children,
Nice.
I am dealing with children.
So much anticipation. Can't wait to see.
And as you climb into the top of this edge, and again, this is a building just built of various parts of a ship hull pushed together, and it feels with every step as you step onto it that it is leaning and rocking and stretching, and nearly about to collapse. And yet the captain continues on in perfect grace. As you step into the interior of this building, and it is just a mess with different items. There are bones, there are cannons, there are barrels, there is just a wide variety of just refuse almost. And it's all relatively nautical themed, but it is truly a vast, wide array of different things. And there are anchors hanging from the wall. There is a full shark, like a 20-foot long shark skeleton just right by the edge that you kind of turn, and the maw of the creature is right by the door. And you step into this place, and it all smells strangely of sulfur and gunpowder within here. And from the darkness, there is just this call out, just that seems to echo across this chamber. Those heels, they are but one person that I know who has this. Yes, William, we are here to see you. Please come out and stop with the theatrics. But you have friends. I have not seen you in so long, and you come to me like this without introducing your friends. And as you kind of come into this central area, there is this humanoid man kind of crouched over a small, what looks to be cooking fire. He's got a large tricorn hat and is kind of stirring it. And you can see one eye patch across the right side of his face. And with kind of the largest eye roll that you have ever seen, the captain, Captain Stormfay, kind of motions over to you all. Well, this is Miss Cascade, Mr. Clyde, and friends. Friends, this is William Lamont. No. You all can call me One-Eye Willie. And he turns around, and you can see this pirate, and he has an eye patch over both eyes, and just spins around, and you can see a large bird on one shoulder with a bald head, and just this half-filled toothy maw that just gives you this wide smile as he steps forward.
Wait, the bird has a bald head?
The bird is it's like a vulture-like creature that has a balding head and kind of sparse feathers.
So he has a homunculus.
When he turns around, Clyde splutters and goes, "Man, Captain, I know he said I couldn't talk, but One-Eyed Willie, what the fuck is up with that?"
It's just a bird. Ain't you ever seen a condor before?
Oh, I'm sorry. It was a little dark in here. I thought it looked a little straight. I see.
She's my eye. She lets me see. Of course, while we're sailing. And the captain just again rolls her eyes.
One eye?
Well, they called me One-Eye Willie when I had one eye left.
Oh, why aren't you No-Eyed Willie then?
It was too much paperwork.
There's paperwork?
Of course, you ain't ever legally changed your name to One-Eyed Willie before.
Once on there.
I can't say I have.
Well, let me educate you. And he kind of steps off, and he looks like he's about to step into a hole, and the condor kind of swims down and pushes a box, and the peg leg that he has steps onto the box before stepping onto the stairs as he continues to walk down around, and the condor comes back and lands on his shoulder before he makes his way over to you all. Well, yes. It is quite an intricate process. You must submit the paperwork up to Mr. Madai, and listen, Willie, we are not here for stories. We are simply here for a ride to the Great Tide. The Tide? Well, if you want to get to the Tide. I can be here for both. If you want to get to the Tide, you know that the Cloud Reavers are the best people to take. We cannot use the Cloud Reavers for certain reasons. Thus, we are here to you. Oh, I see. You want... Oh. You are in for a treat then. Are you all coming?
Yeah, +1. Well, 2.
Well, upstairs is me craft. Come on. And he begins to walk again back around the stairs, dodging around a crate, moving under a bucket, kind of dipping under a cage, and kind of tapping on an anchor as he passes through this just wreckage of an area up these stairs. And the captain just kind of sighs and continues up after him.
This is a nice place you got here.
You all follow up one by one. Well, thank you, Mr. Clyde. Now, my craft. We used to call her the Roofless, after my wife Ruth, who sadly doesn't enjoy sailing. But Ruth didn't take too kindly to that, so now we named her after my other love, Sylvia. And he kind of motions to the bird on his shoulder. Now, you all can see the steel condor. And what you look at up in this large area is a small metallic cockpit with a massive fan out the back and just a large inflatable balloon that has manifested out through the large center of this. And it's half deflated in its current state. And out front, there is a small little stoop with a seat and what looks like little pedals at the front. Isn't she a beauty?
Well, it doesn't have tentacles, so that's an improvement.
This thing gonna fall. This supposed to fly?
Oh, it's the best flying thing in Port Krez.
Is it the only flying thing in Port Krez?
Oh, details. Hey, I fly. And the condor kind of looks over and calls this out. And you see his one-eyed Willie just kind of pats it on his head. Yes, Sylvia, you're beautiful, but you're much, much more beautiful than the steel condor. It's just named after you. You are both my loves. Well, come on, get in. And he kind of pulls down a wire next to it, and the small little drawbridge drops down to reveal a door. And it's a very tight cabin, but it looks like it can probably fit all of you.
It was nice knowing you. It's gonna be a fun ride.
If it crashes, you'll get your money back. He gives a wide smile.
But you haven't had a complaint yet from someone who was in it when it crashed.
Not yet? I'll make sure to give out surveys when we're done, though, and then I can have some feedback for the next folks.
It's fine. I'm a light faller. Clyde's gonna climb on. Oh, never thought I'd die falling out of the sky, but here we are.
You survived it once. I'm sure you'll survive again.
Oh, you know what? I'm not sure if I want to make a habit of it, though.
I mean, the likelihood of us having to take your eyeball out and put it back is significantly lower.
Yeah, but I don't like that you didn't say it's not gonna happen.
Hey, at least you got to put them back.
2 tadpoles in.
Well, how about we put a couple on your eyeball, put them both in one socket, see how you like it.
This is going to be a very long ride for me, I imagine.
Oh, yes. This is what I've been dealing with for over a month.
I understand. They've just driven you mad. Well, Willie, whenever you're ready, let's be off. Well, of course. You all are going to make history today. The maiden voyage of the Steel Condor. And he, with that, lifts up the drawbridge, locking you all into the thing, and just begins to tink tink as it pumps up air into the large balloon, and smoke billows out the back as you all begin slowly drifting out. And the one-eyed Willie is pedaling on the front with the condor upon his shoulder. The condor kind of looks, "You forgot to open the door." "Oh, of course." And he pulls a pistol and fires a shot, and it ricochets off a few things, and then a large opening just kind of falls, and it kind of cracks and breaks and kind of tumbles down the side before falling into the ocean as it opens up a large window in the building, and the steel condor slowly begins to pass out into the open air.
That would explain why there haven't been any complaints.
I'm just gonna wait into the party. Look, I've seen improvision before, but this might just be the most interesting thing I've ever seen.
We have to come back after this, I hope you all know.
I don't know if this thing will make it back.
Wait, one eye's on the front?
Yeah, Willie, one-eyed Willie
That's what that is?
He's got a little seat with pedals out on the front. He's not in the compartment with you. He's pedaling out on the front of it.
Oh, we don't have to come back. One eye's coming with us.
I'm not sure if his legs
Oh my
on this airship will give out first as far as that goes.
I don't know. You think he's looking for a third wife? I think I play a part.
You would look good in a wig.
Yeah, never be bored.
Cade's gonna lean over to the captain though. Did you say this was taking us to the tide?
Yes, we are headed to the Great Tide.
And why on heaven's earth would we want to go there?
Oh, trust me, as much as I have thought about it, this is our only option.
What is this tide you're talking about? Sounds ominous.
It is a bit ominous. Like all ominous places, there are plenty of myths and legends, but I assure you, as best as we can tell, they are but myths and legends. It is just some mist and smoke that has come out across the sea, and for now that is all that is important.
Myths, you say?
Indeed.
Is that it? Ain't nothing else weird? You say legends.
Oh. What would you say, Cascade? The legends say that it is a bit haunted?
Most of us don't sail there except the Cloud Reavers.
I've heard stories about another bunch of mist that spread out where it wasn't wanted.
Yeah, and it was a bad time. This ain't the same sort of thing we talking about from the last
This,
war,
I can
is it?
assure you, is much more mundane. I have been through the Great Tide many a time, and nothing bad has happened to me. It is
Clyde
just...
visibly relaxed hearing that. Huh.
It is just some mist that has risen off the ocean. That is it. Now, I suggest that you all rest, relax, and please be quiet so that we can get some rest before we arrive. There will be much to do and we must act quickly.
Cade just kind of kicks back, pulls a book out.
Hey, Roland is doing the same, but the book that he pulls out is the diary that he bought from the curiosity shop, which is it's stuffed in with all of the other items in this bulging bag that you just put everything in during the Barrmore haul.
Speaking of, how much money did Roland find?
Like
7
silver.
That was it?
And
One giant map.
A map. We might want to look.
we
Well,
assume it's a
fine.
map. I haven't
Yeah,
cracked into
whatever
it
it is.
yet, but it's in Boko's bag of holding.
Fingers
That
crossed.
might be a good thing to crack into and identify.
Fingers crossed.
I don't know if I want to pull it out in front of a random ass other pirate and a random ass airship bicyclist
He's preoccupied.
and his bird.
He doesn't have, he's blind, he can't tell anyway.
You probably don't want to risk it flying out the door. I don't think.
Yeah,
Yeah, since he shot our window out.
Yeah.
I think it's safe in the bag of holding for now.
Yeah.
We can pull it out later, such as when Boko is here to appreciate it. But yeah, no, I mean, Azalea Stormfae, Captain Azalea Stormfae is connected to Cade, so Roland doesn't distrust her yet, but she's yet to do anything to earn his trust.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
All right. So at this time, you all do get a long rest. Is there anything that you guys would like to do during this downtime? It is very tight quarters.
What's the time frame? Can I try and set up my moon still in this cramped enclosure?
You probably will not be able to set up the moon still, unfortunately.
All right.
And it's roughly about 10 hours of time, though.
All right.
Sindri is going to try to convince the Shulk to do some like weighted exercises with our plate armor.
We have no. What are you gonna do?
Interesting.
We're going to bench press each other. It's great, okay?
Bench press each other. I love it.
It's certainly an interesting idea.
Oh lordy.
I believe Sindri can bench press the Shult. I do not believe the Shult can bench press Sindri.
Sindri assumes since the Shult wears plate armor, he's reasonably strong.
I'll certainly like work with him, but I'll just say like, Sindri, you understand that just because I'm wearing armor doesn't mean that quite as strong as you are.
But you move around like as quickly as me, and it's heavy. It's a lot of metal.
It's a lot, in fact, the power of technology.
Sindri just stares you dead in the eye, just with a long, awkward pause. Are you saying your technology is stronger than me?
No! Wait!
Oh my god.
The Shult, choose carefully. No, Clyde wants the Shult, choose carefully. He cannot get big here.
There's no space.
I will say that if before I met all of you all, I would have believed that. However, seeing you in combat, I think that I would have to agree.
You still want to do laps and stuff?
No, I mean, I'm certainly willing to help you with whatever endeavor you
Ooh,
want to go
wait.
with.
Are you weak outside of your armor, like Clyde?
Yeah.
Hey, I don't wear armor.
I will say I'm not exactly the strongest, so yes, in a way.
If you modify my armor, will I be strong?
The thing is, I don't think there's really a modify your armor. You're already quite strong as it.
But if it makes you stronger, wouldn't it make me even more stronger?
Well, suppose theoretic.
No, you see what it does? It just makes him not weak. It doesn't make him stronger.
That's the thing, right? Outside of this, I'm not really strong at all. You clearly have a lot of natural armor and power to you that the Earth has provided, and I don't have that, so I have to use technology. I know it all sounds very strange, but I assure you that's more or less how I've actually been able to combat here.
Your technology, is this your Steam stuff, right?
Well, yes, that's what allows me to do my Steam abilities as well.
Oh yes.
So it makes
bomb in the cockpit.
It makes you stronger, and you can shoot friends in the face with boiling water.
Hey, not the intended target.
Hey, he can also run next to people really quickly.
Yeah, wait a second. That also was not intended. I swear all of this will be worked out eventually. It's all still in secondary field testing.
Can you make me faster?
I feel like that'd probably be a way, or at least propel you in some manner.
Ooh. That could be cool.
You and
I do find that falling on people is a very effective form of attack, but it's hard to get high up.
Understandably so.
Well, Clyde's gonna look out the window. Pretty high up right now.
I know, if we had like someone we wanted to crush below us, it would be perfect.
Truly.
I think now I'm just gonna tree. Or the waves, and I don't want to go in the water. That's the problem.
Understandably.
Sindri, just to clarify, you're fine with being on the ground, and you're fine being on the air, but you're not fine being on a ship on water.
No, I am not fine with the ocean. Water is fine, okay?
Really?
I used to
But you're
go
okay
walk.
with this? We're over the ocean. I gotta tell you, I'm trying not to give One-Eyed Willie the satisfaction. I'm shaking like a little leaf here. This thing ain't right.
Fake? I thought they were pretty still. Or they move in the wind. These are the things on the trees, right? I'm right about that?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. And that is a measurement of shakiness?
I was kind of trying to say that I was scared without saying I was scared. But you want me to just come out and tell it like it is? I guess I'm going to tell it like it is.
Wait.
It's a local colloquialism that I'm assuming that you don't have in the Underdark.
So scaredness is measured in how shaky you are? I'm very confused.
Yeah, and you also get to rattle. You know, we'll go through the whole entire spectrum of scared here. You got fright. You got feared.
This is why Giant is so much simpler. We just say things directly. I keep hearing all these weird, what are they called? Like, comparative something? Why? Shaky
Well,
like
because we're a diverse bunch up here.
Very true.
Gotta know how to speak with just about everybody, and that means you speak a little bit of everything.
This is the man who understands. That, of course, is the joy of, marketing in general.
Tell you what, everyone. Considering
Oh no,
we're
this
all
goes on for
friends-
10 hours.
No.
This is how the 10 hours is spent.
After like an
No one gets a long
hour,
rest.
when it's starting to get dark, Kate's like, tell you what, everyone. Why don't we all just try and get a little bit more comfortable and go to sleep?
Alright, Clyde's laying like full out, so all 3'6" of him, 3'7".
Sindri, you can curl up and sleep like a rock.
See, that makes sense, because rocks are still. So sleeping like a still thing means it's sleeping well.
Yes, excellent. You understood.
As this continues on, Roland, you are reading through your the diary, and you get through one of the pages. It reads, "Dear Diary, today was quite an adventure on the high seas. My crew and I had just captured a ship full of treasure when one of our mischievous pirates, Billy, decided to play a prank on us. As we were dividing the spoils of our victory, Billy snuck up behind us and snatched the biggest diamond from the pile. He then proceeded to run around the ship, taunting us with the diamond and refusing to give it back. We all chased after him, but Billy was too quick for us. He even managed to climb up the mast and dangle the diamond over the edge, threatening to drop it into the ocean below. Eventually we managed to catch him and retrieve the diamond, but not before he had us all laughing and out of breath. Billy may be mischievous, but he certainly knows how to keep us entertained on these long voyages. Until next time, Captain Jack."
It's still better than listening.
Oh, Billy.
As you all continue into the night, eventually getting some semblance of rest. By the time you open your eyes, the bright blue bright pinks and oranges of the sunset have dispersed completely. And instead of the night or a sunrise, there is a dark, cloudy atmosphere out the wide windows. And it is even difficult to see in the cabin here, as there is kind of this smoky haze that has set in. Goodness. But yes, you all have completed a long rest and appear to be within this gray tide, as there is that ominous lack of sight from each side, and kind of looking up at the windows, looking out, the mist blocks really any sort of vision. You're not sure how high up you are at this point, but you can't hear the water below, and you look out and you see just this thick fog that extends as far as you can tell, though how far you can actually see is unclear.
Do we have any lamps on this?
Yes, there is some light that has been kind of put up in here. There's one by the captain, who is now kind of silently reading through a small book as well. And then there's one at the back that had been lit the entire time. It's a small fire that kind of pumps out this black smoke out the back.
I'd like to hold my lantern with Mage Hand and just kind of have it moving out in front of the ship, just giving us a little more distance.
All right, so you kind of pick up a lantern and kind of send it out the window and out towards the front of the steel condor, and you see as the condor on One-Eyed Willie's shoulder kind of looks out and just, what? What's that? What's that? Huh? Is there something wrong? No, just a floating lantern.
That's just me. I can't see near as good as you.
You'll have to be careful. We do not know what is out here.
I thought, well, the captain said there wasn't nothing out here.
Well, we've got to keep our eyes peeled regardless. So perhaps it is good to be illuminated.
Right.
And he continues on the pedaling through the area here. And Clyde, your lantern goes, and it goes maybe 20 feet before it starts to fade behind this mist out in front of the craft.
Well, I'm going to have the Mage Hand carry it along with us.
Okay, so just kind of putting it outside, not trying to see how far it extends.
No,
gotcha.
No. Just giving us a little bit more around the ship. Also, if anything is attracted to light, maybe it'll attack the lantern and not the giant ship. Maybe.
As you kind of look out at the lantern, Clyde, you can see that the mist is kind of swirling around it. It's actually has movement to it. It's spinning around the light ever so slightly, and you can actually see it not quite as violent as a hurricane, but in that same kind of pattern, circular pattern, just slowly shifting around it. And all of you kind of find yourself drawn to the 2 or 3 windows on this compartment, looking out at this mist as it is entrancing and interesting. And there is at times like seeing shapes in clouds, where there is shapes within the mist forming and dispersing as these different shapes, different darknesses, different patterns begin to blend into each other. And it is certainly an ominous feel to it, that kind of prickling on the back of your neck and the hair standing on edge. It just feels weird.
Clyde's gonna get out his light crossbow, just in case.
We went and got all of our weapons
I hope
back from the bar when we left.
I just got that.
Yeah. As you guys dispersed, the dwarf at the door would have pulled them out of the temporal holding section and handed them to each of you without asking. Handed you exactly what you gave him.
Taking your claim check ticket. And
Yep.
Puts it into the hole and removes the weapon.
Exactly.
Has to reach in 5 times for Roland.
But yeah, Clyde, holding your light crossbow at the ready, you kind of are just like, I have a bit of peace of mind now.
Just feel a little better.
And Cade, as you're glimpsing out one of the windows, you swear that you see something moving against the current of the mist. Something almost slithering past, and this face blending into the patterns before it smooths back out into mist. If you're talking, you're on mute, by the way.
There we go. My phone did like not want to activate. No, so Cade will just kind of give the captain just like a glance of like, we might not be alone, keep your eyes out, and then we'll verbally tell Roland that.
As you kind of go to glance at the captain, she's still kind of sitting down, just kind of reading this small book or pamphlet, and she doesn't give you much of an acknowledgement, but Roland kind of matches your gaze, and Roland, you look out, and you, for a moment, there's kind of this bit of blue color that arcs through the mist nearby you.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna pop the rifle up and just kind of flick a lever to pop a lens into place and activate the ability of the arcane optic to detect thoughts, to try and detect a sentient creature moving through the mist.
As you raise the optic and kind of scan, there's nothing that seems to register, and the mist is even. You kind of scan from left to right, and then suddenly from up there is just this mist pulse that rises up into your vision, and there is, you swear, eyes and a mouth looking at you before it disperses, and you kind of blink and it's gone. You weren't quick enough to see if it registered on your optic or not.
I think you may be right, Cass.
Don't call me that.
Sorry, Captain Cade.
Don't call me that.
He's just quietly chuckling to himself and like continues to scan.
And I'm sorry, I had missed something, but I do want to go back to this real fast. So as you guys had first kind of entered the mist, as everyone was still resting, Jasira, you said that you were kind of focused in on something and wanted to take a moment here?
Yeah, so basically once everyone fell asleep, she would be in her kind of cross-legged meditation. And she would just kind of fold her hands and try to center herself. And she just kind of whispers to herself, so not to disturb anyone sleeping. I did not do as well as I hoped today. I need to be stronger. Please continue to give me your strength. I hope to make you proud. And then she'll just kind of absent-mindedly end up touching her left earring. And she'll just kind of repeat that to herself over the course of her meditation that evening.
Jasira, you, like many nights, find yourself drifting from what is supposed to be a meditative trance into what is closer to unconsciousness than true sleep, where your senses blend and your eyes drift off to darkness. Tonight there is a warm sensation. You can feel it along the back of your spine, you can feel it up into your head, and you can feel it in the backs of your ears. That presence that gives you this contentment, that gives you this almost acknowledgement to you. And you feel that with these silent prayers that you send off into the unknown, that there is this presence here with you tonight. And for a moment in this darkness, you see a bit of light on the edges of your vision. And suddenly it comes clear as you awaken earlier than anyone else to find yourself in this mist. And is there any last things you want to do before everyone else awakes?
So, does the mist fully obscure any sort of light there would be from the sun, perhaps? Or...
You do not catch any sight of the sun. There is the few bits of lantern light from the front and from the fire in the back, and everything else is this dim darkness surrounding you that the thick mist gives off.
Okay, then I think she'll probably just grip her mask in her hand and just kind of keep a perception. Just kind of keep a lookout.
All right, give me a perception
Not much
check.
to look at, but
yeah.
Best to be not too... Let's see, and I think... I might be wrong. That might be an advantage to... Nope, it's not. Okay, cool. It's regular. So, perception... That's okay. It's mist.
You see this thick mist looking around, and then suddenly it starts to swirl in that circular pattern, and you see specks of blue, lines in the distance that seem to rush forward. You focus in on trying to understand what you're looking at, and then from the edge of your vision there is almost this rushing of that mist as it curves around, and for a moment you see a face before it disperses, and you give kind of a jolt, and that's what slowly wakes everyone else up as they begin to look into this and see their own visions within this mist. And as Roland and Cade and Clyde come to be on edge as well, is there anything that you all are doing as you wait here?
I guess jamming out with this music.
you hear in this moment, as still cycling, there is just this accordion music coming from where One-Eyed Willie is playing as he is pedaling, and it gives a bit of strangely comedic aspect to this ominous moment.
Is there anything this man can't do?
See.
You literally beat me by 1 second.
No, I'm good being content. Clyde is ready with the crossbow, but he's not ready to shoot the first thing. Because this mist is seeming to be spooky.
Clyde, as you're kind of sitting in, you see this trail of darker mist kind of slowly seeping in from one corner of the window, and Cade is kind of looking out one window, Roland's looking out another, and it's kind of seeping in from the opposite side towards the center of this craft.
Hey guys, is the mist supposed to get in here?
These are open windows, so there's been some mist that's been kind of seeping in, but this is kind of a darker color, kind of a strand of slowly kind of eking in.
In that case, Clyde will he'll point his crossbow at it and I guess inch closer. It can't be that far from him.
No, it is not very far. And as you kind of inch closer, you see as it kind of goes from moving towards the middle and kind of spins, almost like a snake moving through grass to kind of move in your direction. And now it is growing towards you, just kind of moving ever so slowly, like an inky tendril.
Watch where you point that thing. We're in close quarters.
I am watching where I'm pointing. What the fuck is this? Clyde, y'all seeing this too, right?
As you spin around, you all do see this black tendril, and Cade, you can actually see a thin blue line through the center of it as well, as it starts to slowly glow.
I would like to cast Mage Hand and just slap through it.
As you cast Mage Hand, and the Mage Hand actually parts around, and the magic just doesn't connect with it at all, and doesn't even seem to affect the mist, as the Mage Hand just passes straight through.
Guys, I think we got something here.
It's about maybe a foot from Clyde.
Roland will scan over it with the optic.
Nothing seems to register.
Clyde's gonna reach out with a finger. What the hell is this?
Clyde, you slowly reach up a finger, touching the edge of it, and it surges with this blue light that sends up the black tendril and out towards it, and then disperses. It's gone.
This mist is freaky, y'all.
Yes, well, like I said, a lot of us don't like to sail through it.
Slowly, there begins to be a bit of turbulence, and the balloon begins to drift ever so slightly.
Well, is that normal?
I don't know. This is the first time we're out.
God.
But don't worry, I still know where we're going.
Great job, Willie.
I got in plenty of exercise. I'll have lost 10 pounds to be sure. Cade, as you feel a sudden jolt to the edge of the cabin, there is suddenly a large, what looks like hand stretching up over one of the windows, and it moves up towards where the balloon is, and you see this long kind of scaly-like mist form by the edge of your window.
Oh.
Captain, is that normal?
Yeah, Captain, the fuck?
You all should just sit down, and she continues to just look at her pamphlet. Doesn't seem to be focused on it.
Okay, you know what?
Willie, got any extra eye patches in here?
I'm fresh out, unfortunately.
You know what? At this point, just don't give any weight, don't give any credence to it, and just sit down and ignore it. Perhaps it'll leave us alone.
Only, I suppose.
Jasira, you see this blackened, small serpentine head moving over towards you. What are you doing?
Cade said to try not to pay any mind, so she'll just acknowledge the spoopiness, and that's it.
You sit back, and the black serpentine figure gets closer and closer, a foot, 6 inches, 3 inches, and as you kind of brace yourself, you don't feel it touch, and as it hits your skin, it just poof, disperses up the edge. Roland, you are looking out the window, and you see a long kind of blackened tail pierce through the mist with a large blue edge. Is there anything that you're doing?
Big's bayonet.
The tail kind of swings back and comes in forcefully in your direction, looking as if it's going to collide with you.
I will thrust bayonet towards tail.
You shift out your bayonet,
looking to forcefully collide with it first.
There is a large blue burst of energy from where the tail is. Go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
I love those so much. Woo!
Yeah,
I have not acknowledged the spoopiness.
You stab out, and there's this flash, and you are on the edge of your seat as you can feel your heart racing in this moment as you look around for any enemy, but it is gone.
Hey, why don't we put the stabby thing down?
Did you see the
I'm seeing lots of stuff right now, but if we're gonna be listening to the captain, we supposed to just sit down, shut up.
Ah, it looks like there's a break up ahead. Oh, marvelous. Good. And the captain puts away her book.
Thank goodness.
And as you all look up ahead, indeed, the mist begins to lighten up, and you can see light ahead. Bright yellow and blue, kind of peeking through and pushing away the mist. And as you begin to press onwards, you can see that this mist is at bay, but at the same time that is emanating from something. This large arc of what can only be described really as a portal of some sort. This magical emanation of yellow and blue and green that just pools out this thick white gray smoke that is making the mist around you, and it is hundreds of feet high, and you see it spilling out into the sea around it, but the light is keeping the mist at bay here, and you can see this massive zone ahead of the waves. Well, we have finally arrived. You all can prepare yourself. The next part may be quite shocking. And as the steel
And the
condor...
previous part was it? Sorry, Captain.
As she just doesn't seem to address Roland in the moment, the steel condor slowly floats forward, and all of you begin to look back and forth as you sail into this large open archway. And that is where we're going to end this session and pick up again in 2 weeks. So, thank you all for joining us. We'll see where One-Eyed Willie, the blind pirate, continues to lead our mischievous individuals. Again, we're taking a break on next week, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. So we'll see you then.